Now let's review dividing polynomials by monomials. So we have here the first example, 4r squared minus 12r, close parenthesis, divided by 2r. Okay, you can go ahead and divide each term, this, by the 2r. Or you can do this normal way of dividing numbers. So let's go ahead and show both of them. In the example, this is what they did, divide each term by 2r. So if you divide 4r squared by 2r, that's going to be 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then the r squared divided by r is r. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And the r divided by r is just 1. Therefore, this is the final answer. Underline the first term inside the division symbol, the 4r squared. And then we're going to divide that by the divisor outside, which is the 2r. 4 divided by 2 is 2. R squared divided by the r is r. Then multiply. 2r times 2r is 4r squared. Then subtract them. Bring down the next term. Negative 12r divided by 2r. Negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. Then multiply negative 6 by 2r, which is going to be negative 12r. You know, down here, we're going to have to subtract. Therefore, this one will change into positive. Okay? So that means we really have to subtract these two terms, and it will cancel out to 0. So as you can see, we have the same answer as their answer earlier. Okay? So dividing the normal way, how we used to do it with this division symbol, is going to be the same thing as you do it individually, like this. Now let's try another example. It says here x squared plus 7x plus 10 divided by x plus 3. The first number is your dividend, so they go inside the division box. The second number or second expression is your divisor, so they stay outside the division box. Now, when dividing by binomial like x plus 3, you have to divide the first term by the first term. X squared divided by x is x. Now multiply that x by the x. That's going to be x squared. Now you have to also multiply that answer to the other term in your divisor. That's going to be x times 3. That's going to be positive 3x under that 7x. Now we have to subtract down here. Since we have a negative sign here, put this term inside a parenthesis, and you know it's like having a negative 1 outside. If you multiply each term inside by a negative 1, it will change all its signs. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared, and negative 1 times that 3x will now become negative 3x. Now let's combine them from the terms on the top. If they're different signs, we subtract. X squared and a negative x squared is 0. 7x and negative 3x is positive 4x. Then we bring down the next term. Now we divide. Remember, the first term is the only one we're trying to divide by the first term. So what is 4x divided by x is 4. 4 times x is going to be 4x. Now that we're trying to multiply again that answer to each of the term in your divisor, not just with the x, but also multiply it with the 3. And 4 times 3 is positive 12. Now down here, we have to subtract. Now remember, this is like a negative 1 down here, so it will change the signs of the 4x and plus 12. Negative 1 times 4x will be a negative 4x. A negative 1 times 12 will be negative 12. Now we have a remainder of negative 2. Place that remainder here on top of a fraction. So that's going to be negative 2 here. It's like having a whole number x plus 4 and then a fraction here. The bottom number will be our divisor, which is x plus 3. And there is your final answer, which is x plus 4 and negative 2 over x plus 3.